Yeah. Just to quickly touch on it. I've been watching Welcome to Derry episode. I've watched episodes 2 and 3. The latest episode comes out on Sunday. Let's see. Odin Salty says, "Yeah, the Steam machine, really interests me. It looks like a cool and fun little machine to have. I could imagine this could be a good budget PC. Oh, absolutely. Depending on the price point. But yeah, I've watched episodes 2 and 3. Episode 4 comes out this weekend. What are my thoughts on episodes 2 and 3? I really enjoyed the show so far. I would say probably the one thing. I guess I'll touch on the one critical aspect so far. Some of the CGI is a little wonky, just a little. Again, this is a TV show, so it may not have the huge budget that like a big time movie would have. But there's a couple moments where some of the CGI, I think in particular towards episode 3, there's some stuff. There's a whole scene taking place in a graveyard with some ghosts and ghouls. Um, there's some stuff with the CGI there where I'm like, I wish it could be better, but I at least a lot of people are hating on the show because of a scene like that. And there's also another scene that takes place in a convenience store with pickles and whatnot, a pickle monster or something. The thing is like when it comes to this show in particular, that stuff when it comes to it is supposed to be acceptable and good because it again trying to scare the children and scare them in ways with things that they know about or things that they have inner fears of. So the fact that like a big thing is like some of the kids are afraid of like ghouls and ghosts or something. So that's why one of them or some of them get scared by ghouls and ghosts in a graveyard. One of the girls, her father is killed by at his pickle factory that he worked at. That's why she gets scared. That's why Pennywise tries to scare her with pickles and jars. So like a lot of people are like talking about how kind of hokey some of these scenes are. They don't bother me because they fit within the narrative or whatever Pennywise is trying to do. So that is like my one critical aspect is not that. My critical aspect is mainly like just like the CGI and some of the parts. If you can get past a couple moments of bad CGI, then the show's been great so far. I would say in particular the one thing about the show that I'm like really liking is like a lot of the lore that they're really like delving in with Pennywise and the town in general. Um, like I feel like they're doing a great job of kind of tying this show in with the Stephen King. I mean, I guess you have to. It's his IP, but like, or you should. But yeah, they're doing a great job of like tying it in with the Stephen King multiverse thing that he has going on with all of his movies and TV shows. As you can imagine, this is like a prequel, so like it's really cool. They've gone back multiple times to other periods because if you don't know, Pennywise or It wakens every 27 years to like feast or kill kids or something, and then it goes back to sleep and wakes another 27 years. But like this has been really cool. Multiple times they've like delved into previous 27 years or previous like groups of kids or people that have had to deal with him, and I'm like super excited that because I feel like they're gonna keep delving into other groups of people within the town who have had to deal with him and have come across him. And the show's so cool. They have this guy. I think his name. What was his name? Hamlin, or Dick Hannerlin. Oh gosh, I can't think of his name. And this guy is probably my favorite part of the show so far. Oh, Halloran. There you go. There's a guy named Dick Halloran in the show, who, if you don't know, it's really cool. I'd have to look it up because I'm not like the most in the know of Stephen King stuff. But apparently, this guy was in Halloran is like a big deal within Stephen King. The guy Dick Halloran was also in the movie The Shining. He is he's the one black gentleman. I think he worked at the hotel or something like that, or maybe he was visiting. But yeah, he basically has The Shining, Dick Halloran, and they have him in this show, and it's really cool. They like found a way to like have somebody from who has The Shining in it. Which, if you don't know The Shining in the movie The Shining, the term The Shining is for somebody who has like a spiritual connection or can like look in and see ghosts or can see future and past and type and stuff. They're like a medium kind of. It kind of gives you like a medium or some sort of brain abilities or something. So like the whole thing is like, or sorry if I'm spoiling the show. I'll try not to spoil. Well, I guess I'm kind of spoiling it. But yeah, that's a far. I shouldn't delve. I'm just thinking about it. I'm saying I shouldn't spoil. I'm here spoiling some stuff. Really cool. Again, they're finding ways of tying in other aspects of the Stephen King world, lore, universe. You've got things like The Shining. I've heard references of Shawshank, which, if you don't know, another Stephen King thing is Shawshank Redemption is another one of his big movies. I quickly you heard somebody talking about possibly getting sent to Shawshank Redemption for something they're doing. There's so many cool references to other things. Trying to think of anything else. There's another madhouse in the movie that apparently takes place in another movie. There's connections to Gerald's Game. There's I don't know. I've been watching a lot of lore videos of people talking about it, and there's so many cool references. So if you're a big fan of Stephen King and how everything ties into universes and stuff, you got to watch this and you got to really pay attention. There's a lot of cool stuff kind of going on here. So again, probably the storyline I'm most interested in. Not necessarily the kids. I think the kids the show does a really good job of flipping your expectations up on their heads. So, I like the aspect of the kids. My favorite storyline so far has been, I think his name's Hanlon. Mike Hanlon is in this, or Halloran. There's Halloran and there's Hanlon. And that's another thing is also the future kids in it, or in the modern time of the books and the movies, the kids that are they eventually defeat the creature Pennywise. Like some of their parents are involved in the show, so like it's really cool. So you see Mike, I think it's Mike Hanlon, his dad is in this and stuff. So there's a lot of cool connectivity between everything. Let's see. Would have been cool if they showed Pennywise when he came to Earth. I think the second movie mentions that the Native American group that was in Derry had to deal with him. They delve into that in this show as well. So there are Native American characters who know more than I think most people do. I'm hoping in future episodes they deal more with that and also explaining. What was I going to say? I don't know. I know that's something I'm hoping that they really delve into. As far as I know, characters from multiple Stephen King books have had The Shining. I think it's a universal thing with his books. Yeah. Scott Twilight says, oh, so it's like they're all living in the same universe or something like that? Yes. Stephen King, if you don't know, he is a madman. And apparently this entire time he's been writing. Because, don't get me wrong, I've read a couple Stephen King books over the years. I never knew about the connections, or maybe I just never thought about them, how things connected to one another into different books. But yeah, apparently like all of his books connect into one another. He has like a mastermind of like he has like a multiverse or some sort of lore connections between all of his books and all of his movies and everything. There's references to like Cujo. You've got Pet Sematary. There's so much stuff. Carrie. There's the Drive one. I don't remember what it's called. Is it Maximum Overdrive? But yeah, like there's so many of his stuff that's in here that the Langoliers. Gosh, there's so many. Pretty sure John Coffey from Green Mile had The Shining. Did he really? That would be cool. Yeah, I'm sure. Like again, everything is connective, which again, I really love when kind of similar to talking about Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson. I love when you can make an argument how great the show is in terms of scary and stuff. Like that's kind of debate. Some of it's cool. A lot of people have been critiquing CGI, whatever. I at least like that so far. It seems like the people that are writing the show understand the source material of Stephen King and it, and they're at least for now, they're showing a care for wanting to do that stuff right. Which like that's most important to me as a Stephen King fan and stuff, and it fan. But yeah, gosh, that's kind of, I think I'll kind of leave it there. There's really not like I don't want to delve into like spoilers and stuff. Again, a lot of aspects of the show I'm really liking. It kind of reminds me of how much I really liked early days of Stranger Things, which that's another thing that's, what Stranger Things comes out, next month or something. But, yeah, this to me reminds me of what, like, I was hoping Stranger Things would be able to, like, continue doing. I eventually fell off of Stranger Things sometime around season 2 or 3. But, Yeah, this is giving me everything I want so far out of the Welcome to Derry show. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting this much, so it's kind of doing more than I was hoping for. And I'm hoping it maintains it. I'm hoping it doesn't do an Alien Earth and just get really crappy in the second half of it, because that was super disappointing with Alien Earth. That show was a total bummer. So I'm happy with you. Welcome to Derry. Please keep it going. I'm very, very excited to see what they got going on. I'm excited for Sunday, so I wholeheartedly recommend you guys go watch it. For now, keep tuning in and I'll let you know if it goes downhill or if it gets terrible at some point. I'm glad they didn't show the really weird parts of the It book. Stephen King was writing some messed up stuff in some of the parts from what I heard from the others. Yeah, Stephen King's he's a madman. For good and for bad. I mean, you don't get to like I guarantee you the guy just sits in his room and writes stuff all day. So, I don't know. I'm not surprised that there's weird stuff in some of his books. Okay, so.
Well. Looks like you've reached the end, haven't you? You imbeciles. On Enter ChazmaN, you'll witness gaming brilliance beyond your comprehension. ChazmaN Live brings the drama. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. EST. Long Plays delivers full journeys, uncut and unspoiled. Join the Patreon, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok below, if you can manage it. Still not following Enter ChazmaN? Then mediocrity clearly suits you.